Hello, 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 and welcome to another live stream here at the Michael S. Heiser Foundation. We have a short one, but a juicy one today. I am your co-host, Jorge Gil, and we're going to be having a lot of fun today because we want to hear from you. If you actually saw the title for this, we want to remind you about some things that are happening here in the foundation. Jawad, what's up? I see you here on the chat. And we also gonna be asking you some questions related to maybe some ideas that you might have to make the Michael S. Heiser Foundation YouTube channel and social media better. Also, I want to make sure that you guys get access to the the $50 off the DCW Conference in October, Friday 9 and Saturday 10th of October over in Golden, Colorado. So it's a blessing to be able to be here with you guys. We were planning going to Denver. Absolutely. We were planning on doing something else today, but we had to pivot. And one of the things that I make sure that Drenna knows is that I have her back, and we come to do a stream even if she cannot make it. But today I want to be able to hear your ideas. I want to be able to hear what you guys have to say about how to make this channel better. And without further ado, welcome to another Michael S. Heiser Foundation live stream. As I said before, I am Jorge Gil. I am the co-host and the producer of this live show. I'm also one of the producers of the DCW podcast, and I was a longtime friend and collaborator with Mike, and now I have the blessing to be able to help Drenna with the foundation. So right now, what I would like to share with you guys is, number one, for those who haven't signed up for the Divine Council Worldview Conference, you guys can do that here. It is super simple. Just go to the Michael S. Heiser Foundation website, come to the banner, and if you go over the banner, if you hover over the banner right here, it's super easy. You just clicked on the Divine Council Worldview Conference. You click here and it's going to shoot you right onto the sign up page. You can go and click on where it says see details, and it's going to bring you right here where you can actually sign up for the conference. But the cool thing about it is, and I actually just got a text from Drenna earlier, and she asked me to make sure that you guys have this, and I'm gonna put it on the chat because I didn't have it ready. It's early bird 50, and if I'm not mistaken, expires tonight at midnight. I don't know if it's East Coast time or West Coast time. She didn't tell me that, but early bird 50 right here will get you $50 off the registration. And remember that we have limited space, but that's exactly what we're going to be doing. Make sure that you come to the Michael S. Heiser Foundation website, get your ticket, get 50% off. So the other thing that I wanted to share with you guys is this. So we have new merch coming. Actually, Drenna is going over some of the crazy ideas that I sent her for merch. If I'm not mistaken, this is going to be probably one of the flyest lines of merch related to a theological creator. We're not only working with the foundation, but we're also going to be working with Joel Mutamali as well to be creating some fly merch for him as well. So imagine you having the DMRSH Michael S. Heiser Foundation merch, having a playoff also the Joel Mutamali merch, Humble Theology. That's going to be pretty crazy. So just make sure that keep your eyes open, because we are right now on the, I will say, just waiting period to get the green light and then start creating some of the best merch that you can see out there as well. The other thing that I want to be able to get from you guys is I want to be able to hear your ideas. And what do I mean by that? You notice that we've done live streams where we've been trying to promote some of the logo software that have some of Mike's books and materials embedded in, so you can actually do quick referencing of the Divine Council worldview, the unseen realm, etc., etc. We also have been bringing a lot of guests that have been, I would say, they were really connected to Mike during his ministry. Also, we've been making sure that Drenna is at the forefront of the streams. That's part of one of the things that we are making sure that Drenna is heavily involved in everything that we do. But right now, I want to hear from you. Instead of think about this as a suggestion box. If you can share with us right now, because I'm going to be reading every comment, I'm going to be reading every chat that comes through here. If you have an idea, either for a show, a topic, a guest, anything else that might come to mind that is related to the DMRSH or the Michael S. Heiser Foundation or the Divine Council Worldview or the Unseen Realm, drop it on the chat. And I'm going to be collecting all these ideas and I'm going to be sharing them with the team. Because one of the things that we want to do, guys, is that we want to be able to generate and produce more content for you guys so you guys can actually continue to support the DMRSH. Right now, if I'm not mistaken, let me see if I can find the let's say resources, articles about events. Let me see if it's already added here. No, this is not added here. So what I'm gonna do is let me see if I can find the Substack. So Substack Heiser. Oh, right here. I don't know if you guys remember, but we talked about this a while back. So make sure that you go and find the Substack for the Michael S. Heiser Foundation. So we have a new Substack. There are a lot of free articles that are there, but also there is some behind the paywall items that are going to be put over there often. Also, if you go to the DMRSH.h.com and you want to join the because they're doing a book study on Joel Murbali's Unseen Battle, all you have to do is click this blue square right here, and you can then join the DMRSH community. And then by doing that, you can support the foundation while at the same time getting early access to a bunch of great resources. You can be joining the book study club meetings, and you can be getting, I will say, ahead of the game when it comes to all the things that we're doing at the foundation. So again, I was going to be hosting the show. Drenna was going to be bringing a guest. We couldn't do it today. So I decided, I took it upon myself to make sure to come over here. And, Ziad says access to the Divine Council project and resources of peer review articles. So that's similar to what Mike used to do back in the day. So this is actually a great idea. Maybe what we can do is we can get the host of the Divine Council Worldview podcast, Mike Chu, and I will say the academic host, because we have also other co-hosts that are not academics, Mel and geez, I forgot. Anyways, I forgot his name. So Mel and when they do the other shows, those shows are not academic. They're more like relational and more like anecdotal. Let's see. David says, I keep trying to reach out to some comic book folks to build a manga type DCW Bible. I would love to discuss that with anyone. All you have to do, listen, David, all you have to do is email me here. Contact at worldviewmedia.org. Actually, I wanted to tell you this, David. I just spent the weekend with a friend of mine, and we actually just developed. I was one of the guys that we just went to DreamHack, and we went to DreamHack, and we went to Ranger Stop. So I got to hang out with the guys, the original guys, Carlos Pesina and Dan Pesina from the Mortal Kombat, the original actors of the game, not the movie, but the original actors of the game. And as I was going to DreamHack, I'm here in Atlanta, and this guy that went to DreamHack with me is a comic book manga artist. So he's not a full-blown mangaka, but he is a comic book artist, and I helped him produce I was the producer for one of his comic books related to apologetics. So I would really, really, really like that idea that you have about a manga Bible or DCW Bible related to the DCW. Okay, let's say Mike did a great job reading scholarly articles and explaining them to non-Hebrew speakers. Yeah, that is really good. I don't think that right now we have the bandwidth for someone like Ron and Mike Chu to do that, but that does not mean that we cannot do it in the future. That does not mean that we cannot do it in the future. And then again, remember, we're going to be at the Divine Council Worldview Conference. That's going to be in Golden, Colorado, October 9 and 10th. Make sure that you get your tickets. And with this early bird, and actually this ends at midnight, all you have to do is type early bird 50. And I'm going to show you how to do it right here. It's really, really simple. You come over here, you click on the banner, you click on details, and it'll take you to the ticket. What do you call this? The ticket page or the event page. And once you're in the event page, then you can register here and you can type in early bird 50 and you get $50 off. $50 off the DCW conference ticket. So go ahead and shoot. Are we coming back in? Are we coming back up? Okay. Yeah, we're back up. All right. Yeah, so what I'm going to do real quick is making sure that we're back on, guys. Yeah. We're back on. All right. So I forgot to do something here. So let me see. It might work. It might not. There we go. And now we are back and we are better. All right. So one of the things that we want to make sure is that we start giving you guys what you guys want in terms of content. So right now we're doing a book study. I don't know if you guys knew that or not. We're doing a book study that you can actually go into the Substack for the Michael S. Heiser Foundation and access it through there, or you can go to the DMRSH community and access it through there. Now, everything that you provide for us in terms of monetary help will go back into the foundation so we can create more resources. We can probably talk to Mike Chu and Ron Johnson for them to help us with more scholarly articles and probably breaking them down in a similar fashion as our dear Mike Heiser used to do it. Also, having maybe producing something like a DCW Bible with the manga visual aspect added to it, that will be phenomenal. Let me know if you guys have more ideas, and I will continue to share with you guys the $50 off the Divine Counsel Worldview Conference. Is going to be October 9 and 10 in Golden, Colorado. Is going to be at the Flatirons Community Church West Campus, and is going to start at 2 p.m. on Friday. Right now, we're giving you guys $50 off the ticket. All you have to do is come to the Michael S. Heiser Foundation, michaelsheiserfoundation.org. Click on the banner, get your ticket, save $50, and we'll see you in October. Now, share your ideas with us. What kind of ideas do you guys have? Not only for the foundation, but for the live streams. Do you have a special guest that you want to see? Do you want to see maybe an online debate here on the Michael S. Heiser Foundation channel? Do you want to see, let me see, DCW Bible study? Well, I like that one. DCW Bible study, maybe logos based, but live on Zoom. So, that's one of the things that I would love. Last time I tried this, the whole stream got fried, but I'm going to try it again. I'm going to try it again for you. And I'm going to call you Zia, because I don't know how to say the rest of your name. So I'm just going to call you Zia. So let me see. Last time I opened this up, it fried the stream. Hopefully this time it's not going to happen. I don't know why it happened last time. But one of the things that I really appreciate is how easy Logos has made this whole thing usable for us. For example, I use interview authors and do book reviews. Okay, so that's a general idea. I love that. So interview authors and do book reviews. So for example, we did that with Joel Muramali the last time. So that's what we're doing, a book study with the Unseen Battle through the DMRSH community and the Substack community as well. So one of my favorite things in the whole wide world is to come over to Logos, right? And to open my study assistant and then start asking my study assistant. So one of the things that I did, you see it pulled up right here. One of the things that I did not too long ago, I was feeling down. I was a little anxious and a little depressed. And I said, you know what? I want to know more about Jesus's prayer life, because I know that he went off by himself. He prayed. Sometimes he prayed before the sun came up. Sometimes he went and prayed so much that his disciples fell asleep. And that happened a couple of times, right? So all I do is come to study assistant and I ask things. But the cool thing about study assistant now that I think you mentioned, Zia, is we can actually have a study assistant to help us or to assist us in a Bible study that can be divine counsel related. So let's say we want to study, we can say something like, according to Michael Heiser and related authors, what is the correlation between the disinheritance of the nations at the Tower of Babel and the day of Pentecost, right? So you ask that question. And now what study assistance is going to do is going to give you an answer based on the material that Mike put together and related authors. So this is one of the most phenomenal things that I have ever seen. And obviously he pulled up Supernatural, published by Lexham, and The Unseen Realm, also published by Lexham. And that's why this is one of my most favorite things to do is just to come over here and then start having a conversation with the assistant that will actually yield verified information based on the material the mic produced. So I think this is great. So let's go. Heiser identifies linguistic connections between Pentecost and Babel through two Greek terms. The flaming tongues as described as divided, diamerizo, while the crowd is said to have been confused, sonkeo, the latter being the identical word used in the Septuagint's account of Babel in Genesis 11, verse 7, right? So the whole idea of being confused, right, in the area in the event of Pentecost, it's the same word used in the Septuagint's account of Genesis 11:7. The term divided appears in Deuteronomy 32:8, which describe how the Most High divided the nations. So what is the correlation? It centers on the reversal and restoration of the nations, right? At Babel, the nations represented at Pentecost had been disinherited by Yahweh when they were divided. Remember that happened in Genesis 11, and then brings in Genesis 12. You have, so Genesis 10, you have the Table of Nations. Genesis 11, the Tower of Babel. Genesis 12, the Call of Abraham. So you have that. At Pentecost, it says the nations represented at Pentecost had been disinherited by Yahweh when they were divided. At Pentecost, the tongues are distributed among the disciples as they preach, and as Jews who embraced Jesus as Messiah returned to their home countries, they would carry the gospel back to those disinherited nations. Babel's disinheritance was going to be rectified by the message of Jesus and his spirit, and the nations would again be his. So this is phenomenal, right? Also, we have the confusion resulted from, and I will answer your question, Kyle. Let me finish this up and then I'll go to you. And by the way, for all of those watching, all of those on the other side of the screen, make sure that you leave your ideas on the chat section or on the comment section if you're watching this after the live stream, because we really want to be able to serve you here at the Michael S. Heiser Foundation. So let me read the last paragraph. The confusion resulting from multiple languages at Babel was removed when the flaming tongues enabled the disciples to speak in the languages of Jews from across the world gathered in Jerusalem. After God turned his back on the nations in Genesis 11, that's the Tower of Babel, and called Abraham in Genesis 12, the call of Abraham, he was now going to gather people from all those rejected nations and bring them back into his believing family alongside Jewish believers descended from Abraham. The list of nations in Acts 2 and their order moving eastwards. Remember that Paul wanted to go to which is Spain now, right? He wanted to go to the furthest frontier that he could find, which in his mind was Tarsus, right? He says the list of nations in Act 2 and their order moving eastward from where the Jews have been exiled in Babylon and Persia westward to the farthest point covers the same distance and scope as the nations listed in the Table of Nations, Genesis 10, the ones placed under the lesser gods. So listen, I love doing Bible studies like this. All I did was have one simple prompt related to the re-inheritance of the nations and anything that Mike had said, and the software pulled it up. But anyways, we're not doing an infomercial here. I want to be able to hear from you guys, and I want to be able to answer your questions as we go. Also, make sure that you smash the like button so we can bring that viewer ratio versus like ratio up a little bit. I said Mike did the live interviews at Biblical Conference. Love the exposure to that group of scholars. Yes, that would be phenomenal. And actually, that's one of the things that I'm going to be doing. In other words, I'm going to be going to the Divine Council Worldview Conference. Lord willing, I'm going to be producing live a lot of the interviews. Plus, I'm going to be producing live or recording live all of the talks and the breakouts that we're going to have. Okay. Now, Kyle asked the following question. He says, how does a lay person register as a speaker for the conference? And that is a very good question, Kyle. I honestly don't know how a lay person registered to the conference. I have no idea. So the best thing you can do is just email me at worldviewmedia.org, and I'll try to get an answer to your question, because I don't have an answer to that question right now. So look, this was a quick live stream for you guys, just to let you know that the early bird of $50 off should be done and over tonight at midnight. I don't know if it's midnight Eastern or midnight West Coast. Don't risk it. I don't know. So you got to make sure that you come here. You click on see details. It's going to take you to the purchasing page right here, and you can see the people who are going to be right now. We got Pastor Jim Bergen, Matthew Halstead, Doug Van Dorn, Ron Johnson, Joel Mutamali, Carrie Griffel. I'm going to be there. I'm not going to be speaking. Maybe I make an appearance in the stage, but I don't know what else is going to be happening. We're going to be having Q&A. We're going to have meet and greet. We're going to have a bunch of other people coming in. And Kyle, if you need more information, I left you my email right on the screen. And with that being said, I hope that this quick 30-minute live stream has helped you a lot. I got great ideas from you guys on the other side of the screen right here on the chat. And I'm sure that I'm going to get more great ideas on the comment section when this live stream is over. So with that being said, thank you guys. You always do a phenomenal job. Continue to pray for the foundation. Continue to support. Join the DMRSH community if you haven't done so. We have a lot of great resources in there. Also, you can join the Unseen Battle book study that we're doing on Joel Mutamali's book. And don't forget that the DCW Conference is coming. And make sure that you listen to every single one of the DCW podcast episodes. God bless you, and see you around, guys. Bye.